Hey, I'm RT and welcome back to RTsWorld. Today I have a very nice video for you, and again this Jackpot casino was suggested by a viewer, and with that said, first of all props out to Wintertime, and he said, suggestion, some sort of machine that you put your ticket in with a very small chance, like 1 in 256, you win a jackpot. I saw a similar thing on some server, but I can't figure out how this 1 in 256 thing works. And also when you put in ticket each time, it shows with the lamps like stages how close you are to winning the jackpot. And with that comment read, many thanks again to Wintertime for suggesting this casino idea. And of course, as promised, I built this casino. And as you can see here in the background, I have here kind of a very nice jackpot pile in the middle, and I have two different versions of this casino. So short disclaimer at the beginning of this video. In this video I will explain everything, how the simple version works and how the complex version works. And in this video we then gonna build the simple version. And I will release a second video, which I will link in the info card section, in the comments and YouTube description down below, where the complex section will be built. But with that said, let's get into the video. So, as you saw in the intro, you come here with your jackpot ticket and you insert it into the machine, and as you can see here, only 4 lamps or 5 lamps. Let's do it again. 4 lamps, 5 lamps. That was a lot of lamps, that was 9. So we came very close to the jackpot, that was 7. So that's how it works basically. It indicates how close you come to the jackpot each time. And of course there's also the possibility to do the same without those complicated books where this says jackpot tickets. It's also possible to do it with diamonds. However, this one is set to 100% just for showcases, so don't wonder that I win the jackpot every time I play on this side here. Yeah, and it's also mirrored, so it starts from the right. And yes, if you can see here, we can win the jackpot again by lighting all those lamps. So how does this casino work? And first of all, that's the difference in space for the complex version. And that's the difference. As you can see, it's pretty huge. That's the space needed for the simple version. And the simple version, as I will show you now, is a little bit, of course, as the name already suggests, simpler. And it's also a 1 in 256 casino. So you put in your ticket. Yeah, now we got to stage 2. So that was 2 stages, but there's also the 3rd stage. If all names are on, we win the jackpot. And very similar to the complex casino demonstrated in advance, we have here the simple version, which is set to 100% all the time. So don't wonder why I win here all the time. So I put in our diamond. We get the 2 stages and the 3rd one. Nice. And we also get our Jackpot 1 book. Great. That's basically how it works. We have the simple version and the complex version, and first I will go into all the details of the simple version. But we have to start from scratch, and that's why we have here this exchange program. May you wonder how to get those jackpot tickets if you run the casino. Of course, there are simple renamed books to jackpot ticket, and there's also only written ticket inside. But you can exchange them with diamonds with certain machines, and I will link such a machine now in the info card section and also in the video description and comment section down below. There are the links to all the videos, so make sure to watch this video first before you go with the jackpot tickets. If you want to stay at diamonds, you're pretty fine. You can stay right here in the video and keep on watching. So first of all, we have to put in our item filter some secret name items. Doesn't matter what they are, they only have to be renamed stackable items. And you have to put a secret name in there so nobody can mess with your casino if you do this on a multiplayer world. These casinos are also completely multiplayer friendly and should work on any version when observers were added. So first of all, to the simple casino, we have here at the bottom our starting point, which is this item filter again. So if we add a book or a ticket in here, you can see it automatically goes down to 1, we power this repeater here, powering this dropper, and this dropper here is set to 50%, and this is dropper 1. Then we can see that we have in this dropper a stone sword, the non-stackable item, and a quartz block, the stackable item. The stackable item will make a signal strength of 1, whereas the stone sword gives a signal strength of 3 with a hopper, so we also light this redstone signal, a redstone block here. And therefore, if we get a stone sword, we can propagate to the next dropper. And this dropper is dropper 2, we have again 50%, dropper 3, again 50%, dropper 4, again 50%, and so on. We go to dropper 5, to dropper 6, to dropper 7, and to dropper 8 finally. And why are there 8 droppers? Because 8 times 50% odds is exactly 1 in 256, and I can demonstrate it to you here. We have 50% is also known as 1 in 2, so one item will win out of 2 items. And with 8 droppers, we have, so therefore 2 to the power of 8, and that's simply 256, so we have 1 in 256. Those odds are of course completely customizable, and in this scenario you can use anything you want. You could add 2 more hoppers, then you have 2 to the power of 10 as a probability. You could also reduce them to get even better odds for the customers, or as said, you can add more hoppers, more dropper hopper combinations to decrease your odds, and also increase them if you reduce the number of dropper hopper combinations. But in this case we have 8, so 1 out of 256. And this casino is completely simply built up. So we have this kind of row of 50% droppers, hoppers combinations, and at the end, if we get all the stone swords basically, which is very improbable, we can light this row of lamps, and this row of lamps will then output an observer signal, and therefore power this repeater and power our dropper with the Jackpot 1 book. And then you can claim the whole Jackpot here. So why is there this contraption on the top, you may ask, and I will explain it to you. We have here this pulse extender, so if we put in another book in here, this redstone pulse will be extended with this comparator pulse extender, and the signal will be transferred into this block, into the first row of lamps, as you can see here. And the second row of lamps is completely random, but not linked to all the odds calculation in the background. So for example, we have here 33% hopper dropper combination at the top, and only if the stone sword, I will demonstrate that, gets moved into the hopper, I will simply remove all the other items, so now it's 100%. So if I put in again a book, we can see now the second row of lamps will also light, and I will decrease the odds again. So this one is completely fake, basically. So it doesn't interact with the contraption in the background, so that just gives the customer a feel or a sense of probability or a sense of odds. And these odds are not fake, so don't misinterpret that statement. That's simply to give the customer a little bit of variety during playing. So it's super simple, it's not tied to the odds calculation in the background. It also takes a little bit longer, so maybe you put in a book, then you can play again, you put in the book, but the first book wins already and you get the 3 lamps. But no matter what, if you win this Jackpot, the customer won't care if it was the second to last one and not the last book he put in there. And of course, it's completely mirrored to the other side. With one exception, we have here everything set to 100% on this side. So for demonstration purposes with the diamonds, you can put in a diamond and win simply everything. And yeah, then we get the Jackpot book, which is great. Nice. So, with the explanatory part done of the simple version, we now move on to the complex version. So how does the complex version compare to the simple one? This one is much more accurate and makes much more fun to play. However, it's a lot harder to build since there are much more blocks involved and you have to factor in a little bit more space for this build. So, if we put in our Jackpot ticket here, we can see we have really this progression bar from 1 lamp all the way up to 9 lamps. And now, why are there now 9 lamps, you may ask, if there are only 8 droppers, since all of those are completely linked to a chance. And as we can see here, we have the same item filter as in the simple version, so that's completely the same. We have also the same pulse extender but it's here on the bottom, that powers our piston, that covers the hopper, so nobody can put in 2 books too fast into the casino. But then we have here one of these droppers set to 100% and 8 set to 50%. And as stated before, 50% times 8 leaves us with a 1 in 256 chance of winning the jackpot. And yeah, of course, why now is there a 100% dropper in there? That's simply because I wanted to put a nice lamp in there. So the viewer asked to put do a 1 in 8, and if in this configuration it would have looked like this. So I simply put in a 9th lamp in there, set the odds to 100%. So if you would set this dropper here also to 50% like all the other ones, we would have a 1 in 512 chance to win the jackpot. So you could again halve the odds by putting in here, like for example, a quartz block. But we don't do that for this video. So we have still the 8 droppers set at 50% and 1 set to 100%. And I can play it again. As you can see here, we have here smooth progression with only now 2 lamps. And it's a very smooth looking, very nice progression. Now we had 8 lamps, which is great actually. And what makes it so complicated is we have to space out all the signals for these lamps. So we have here all the 9 lamps represented by this line of 9 note blocks and redstone. And then we have here the signal calculation part. So first of all, we power this green line and move all the items from right to left, but move only stone swords at the rate of 50% from the right to the left. Then all the left droppers will be detected which item is in there, either a stone sword giving us 2 signal strength or the quartz block giving us 1 signal strength. The corresponding amount of pistons is then powered, and these cauldrons are transferred 1 block up, and these cauldrons are filled with water and at level 1, and there's also a row of blocks on the top to prevent them from filling if there's some rain, so make sure to put there some blocks. And then the signal strengths are simply added up here with the signal strength adder. And as we can see now, if I can power this and be very fast, we can see now that here the signal strength progressed on this red wool bar here. So that's basically how this system works. And as said, it's much more complicated. However, it looks very nice. And if we go to the 100% preset odds part of this casino, we can see that we have all the way a very smooth progression. We do it again. Looks very nice and very satisfying to watch. And of course, as already said, we have here 100%, and it's also marked by signs here if you download the world to play around with it. Here is also stated that they are all at 100%, only stone swords in there. We get only signal strength 2, therefore put all the cauldrons up, and maybe I can show it to you with this casino. Let's get the hopper there, put it in there, and as we can see here, we have now full redstone strength here at this point. And if we get to the full strength, we have here this repeater powering this redstone, powering this repeater, powering this redstone line, and again ending up in our Jackpot 1 dropper. So that's how everything works from the redstone side, and as promised, there is a second video related to this one where I built the complex version, and in this version I will now build the simple version. So I will see in a second in the building part. So welcome to the building part. For the building part we need a 7 wide platform, and I will only build 1 module and not the middle part, and also not this tower of jackpot items. So I will simply build 1 module, and that's only 7 blocks wide, and it doesn't matter how much blocks you add in this direction, but for the front part I would recommend like 4 is the minimum, but you could also extend it much further into the distance. So then we pillar up 4 blocks, we pillar up a 5th block, then go across like this, and then we also want to grab ourselves some deep slate stairs. And for those wondering, I'm playing in 1.18 since there are much nicer blocks in there, and not because the casinos only work in these versions. Usually they work in Java and Bedrock and in versions 1.12 and above. So then we want to put in our redstone lamps, which is 1, 2, 3 at this side, then 1, 2, 3 at top, and 1, 2, 3 at the other side. So then we put a stair upside down here, smooth quartz blocks all the way like that, and a stair upside down from the front. Then we have here the chest. We have 2 hoppers facing into this chest, and we have also this dark oak trapdoor in the front. Then we also want to grab a glow item frame, and for this tutorial I will simply go with the Jackpot tickets, since the viewer requested to do it with tickets. So next up, the front is basically done. You could also put there a sign, all 9 lamps have to be on to win the jackpot, and so on. And we want to put a dropper into the bottom of the floor, into the floor where it says Jackpot 1 in a written book, which is signed by the casino owner. So then I will get all my redstone related items. Should not put them away. So now we want to start with 2 blocks like this, 1 block like that, and another few blocks like this. Repeater facing into this block, facing into a redstone torch. Comparator, 2 pieces of redstone, and then we can already start with our jackpot tickets. We put in 1 in there, then the secret name fillers or placeholders. If you go with diamonds, only use 1 row of those secret name items, and 18 diamonds in the first slot. And if we put in the second book, or the 19th diamond in case of diamonds, we should already reset it to 1 or 18 if you have diamonds. So yeah, if you can see here, it gets reset to 1 all the time. So next up, we want to grab ourselves some lime wool, and there we set a repeater to 2 ticks. We put in blocks like that, another redstone torch. Then we already switch to the yellow wool to redstone torch, and then this 3x2 platform, redstone comparators, and finally a piston right here. And we can cover this hole. I guess I do it with a diamond. Let's do it here as well. So then we want to start with our dropper hopper combinations, and for the sake of this tutorial I will go with 100% droppers first. As you can see here, there are already stone sword in there, so it's a little bit faster for the tutorial. We also need hoppers, and we also need a lot of green wool. So we put always a hopper composter on top to reduce server lag, and then we go to the front like this. 2 pieces of redstone dust, another block there, dropper, hopper, composter, piece of comparator, 2 pieces of redstone line, and here our dropper. We have here the hopper, the composter, and the comparator, like this. So then we have here 2 blocks like that. We have a dropper like this, again hopper, composter, comparator, 2 pieces of wool, 2 pieces of redstone, another block, dropper, hopper, composter, redstone comparator, 2 pieces of wool. Then we have here the dropper on top of a block, a hopper, a composter, again a redstone comparator. We have another 2 blocks like this with redstone on top, and after those 2 blocks we have here a block, another block, dropper, hopper, composter, and again here comparator, redstone, another piece of redstone, block, composter, not composter, dropper, hopper, composter, and from here on we only have comparator, 2 pieces of redstone, and here the repeater for the final lamp powering. So now for the lamp powering, we get ourselves some red wool, like so. So we have here the repeater, here the redstone dust, and on the other side we have here a repeater, here redstone, and we can simply take a redstone output here, set this to 2 ticks, set this repeater here to 4 ticks. Here we have a redstone lamp, this repeater set to 1 tick. We have, after the redstone torch, we have another redstone torch on top. We have here a block, we have here a dropper. I will grab preset to this stone sword. We can also put in there now as some 2 not matching stackable items, and from there on we simply go again. Where is the hopper? I will grab another one from here. hopper, composter, and now we're gonna build here a comparator, 2 pieces of redstone, repeater set to 4 ticks, repeater set to 4 ticks, and repeater set to 3 ticks. So with that, we now combine everything here on the top together like this, and then we can already put in the node blocks. We have the top one set to 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the bottom one here with the winnings that is set to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have this one here set to just 1. So this is simply the node block in its pure form. And I'm very sorry, but as the last part, we have to remove this row of yellow wool, put it right here, and put the comparator back in place, the redstone back in place, and also put here the redstone torch back in place. And also make sure to remove this depowered redstone torch here, otherwise this dropper won't fire. So now we can go to the front, and we should see the first segment light up, the second segment light up to 33%, and then the last one light up to 100%, and we should also now see this repeater being powered. Nice, perfect. So that leaves us with the last part to do, that is powering our dropper. And we can simply do that directly by here. We grab an observer, here some pieces of redstone, here we have a repeater, and then we have this 3x2 platform. We have here another repeater, this one set to 2 tick, 2 pieces of redstone, 2 pieces of redstone, comparator, comparator, and if we play it now, we should get our jackpot book. Great. So everything is working perfect, and the last thing we have to do now is adjust the odds. So we have to put in a block of quartz in each of those 8 droppers. So just follow the line. It's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh dropper, and the final 8th dropper. So perfect. Now the casino is set up, and it's completely random now if you win the jackpot or if you don't. And with that said, thank you again for watching. As always, there is a world download link in the video description where you can download this whole world and play around. If you made a mistake in the block by block tutorial, simply come to the world download and make sure to find your mistake. So don't forget to watch the second video where we built the complex version of this casino, and I will say it again, thank you for all the suggestions, especially this time. Many thanks again to Wintertime. I hope I basically reconstructed whatever you saw there on a multiplayer server here as to my best in my single player world, and feel free to play around as well. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.